if I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care about that stuff. That stuff has nothing to do with me. So,
it's just trolling.
Oh, I know, and I'm just letting whoever's watching know that I accept people as they are. Now, I do know that some people are awkward on here, and
especially from my community, quote unquote, my community.
Well, some of them, but not all of them. And in fact, y'all check out Eddie. He's a hippie, and we accept hippies. We accept rednecks. We accept.
I'm not a hippie, bruh.
Okay. Well, he used to be a military guy, with a short haircut and everything.
Now,
hoorah!
And why did I grow my hair out, Gary?
Because you was bald.
No,
up front.
I shaved my head.
You only got hair in the back of your head. You do a comb over.
No, I don't do a comb over, Gary.
Okay.
So hey, chasing tail outdoors.
Coming out front.
You don't call that a comb over, Eddie?
No, Gary. My hair is just hanging down.
Okay.
Mine too.
Well, we have a gentleman, if you want to call it. I don't like to say my community because I really don't want to be involved in a certain community. I'm just on YouTube. But anyways, he's a retired, I believe, Marine, and he grew his hair long and his beard long just because he had to have it short for 20-some years. So I don't blame. We got Devil Dog up here. He's letting it all go. Saying, hey, I'm free from that situation, and I'm just going to let everything grow, right?
I'm still blonde, and I'm in my 70s.
Yeah. Well, you got the blonde hair.
Somewhat of a comb over. Oh, Eddie's done hit himself now.
He's hit himself?
Well, he dropped down into the basement. Hang on, let's get a good look at that quaff of yours.
Hey, that's no hair dye, right? That's your natural color, right?
I actually have to bleach my hair every November.
Oh, I was gonna say my daughters used to dye my hair black. I haven't done that in years, but it's getting pretty gray.
Skipper, pull your hair back. Even there, you got more hair at, what are you, 70 years?
71.
71 years old. You got more hair on your head than Devil Dog does at 52.
Oh.
Shut up.
I will say, I have to say, is that the skipper up there? I have to, okay, yeah, that's a skipper. You said you're 71. You don't look a day over 60, maybe two. I'm just being honest with you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I guess it's because it's my yearly occupation keeps me young.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Hey, Rebecca.
Let's see.
Rebecca! Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen her in a dog's age.
Good people.
There we go.
Oh, we got Sam's Quit in the house. I know it's a kind of a weird troll name, but he's actually a very intelligent individual.
Well, I think I've said Eddie, and that's okay. He gets mad at me on a daily basis, so.
Why would he be mad at you tonight?
Who knows? Probably because I called him a hippie.
Hippie?
Because he called him a hippie.
Well, just wait. When I retire, I'll probably have. I got hair on my head, and the fact is that I'll probably grow my hair out once I retire.
Are you gonna do a mullet?
Hey, you want to see a picture of me when I had my what is that when you got one hair? Mohawk. I got a picture somewhere of me in a mohawk.
Yeah, we got to see that. I got to clip that and do a short on it. So go ahead. I still got to do a short in your twerking video.
Cool. That was fun.
Oh shoot, that was hilarious. That was good times right there. That was about a year ago. I don't know if I still got it though. I think I actually, well, not accidentally. I think I had to delete it to make room to record something else. But if I still have it, I'm going to put that short up. That was funny.
Hey, I'll show y'all a picture of me when I was younger. Let's see.
JT Colfax in the house.
That's me and Tammy when I was. I don't remember if that was before we got married or that may have been on our honeymoon.
JT's live. He's probably streaming.
Well, it's all good. Somebody just added a stream. That was Skipper. Good. Turned out.
Me.
No, it wasn't Skipper. Yeah, here he is. That's all good though. Hang on, let me see if I can find that picture of me in the. Oh, you want to see another interesting picture?
Oh, okay. We got to see pictures here. Yeah.
This is a picture of me and my sister, my future sister-in-law.
JT. Sorry.
And there's some pictures of me at graduation.
Wait, hold on. Let me go back to StreamYard so I can see.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have that up there when I'm. Somewhere up here, I got a picture of me in a. There's my first motor. There's my very first. Well, I kind of doxed myself. I probably shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, you might want to be a little bit careful.
Well, that's all right. I ain't gonna worry with it. But suffice it to say that I got a picture of me, with a one strip of hair down the middle.
Well, you mean the what's it called? That band, Flock of Seagulls type look, or
Mohawk?
Mohawk. Okay.
That's
Hey,
it.
Rebecca. Good to see you, by the way.
Well, I was trimming my hair with my clippers, and I didn't quite. I got a little bit too much out of one spot, and so my nephew took the clippers and just gave me a mohawk. We were down at the beach at the time. And,
I'll show you a picture of me when I was younger there. You can see that one there. That's
all right, hang on. We're going to music.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Not
There we go.
much. How about you guys?
Hello.
I'm blessed. Thank you for coming up.
Yes, I'm blessed too.
Nice picture, Skipper. And good to
that's
see you.
me down in
And,
Fort Benning, Georgia, on the Ranger course that they tried to kill me on.
All right. Well, this is my first time meeting you, Music 55K, but I subscribe to you.
Yeah, I'm just KK. Everybody calls me KK.
KK.
I call him Num Num.
Okay.
Yeah, Num Num. Now tell him why I call you Num Num.
Because you couldn't say numismaniac.
Yeah, I still don't. So it's Num
As you
Num.
can see, my handle is actually the Skipper.
Well, I mean, like you go into those wild little. Oh, I don't know where you go. You just go different places.
That's because I'm a seasonal actor.
Okay.
Actor.
That's what I do. I have fun.
What am I? Where do I do? I don't know.
That's kind of like the William Shatner bit. We really try to be the best.
I know.
No, I don't have a flow beat, but I do cut my own hair.
A flow beat.
So do I.
Make
I
those?
got my own hair.
I remember those.
Y'all may think I'm kidding, but I'm sitting right here with the utensil I use to cut my hair. See,
That's either remote control or a wall.
No, it's just a beard shaver.
that's
it's
a beard trimmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a beard trimmer.
No, it's
Yeah.
a manscape. Come on, Gary. Let's tell the truth now.
Yeah.
I use scissors for manscaping. That's too. I don't want to risk the thing sliding back and forth. Hey, Sally.
Like
Hey, Seven. Good to see you, buddy.
use the other hand to hold it there.
Well, I got to be careful when I'm using my. Tell you what, I'm subscribed to 7 as well.
Seven's my he's good people. He's been my cameraman since the beginning, and he doesn't get involved in drama. He is good people. Just FYI.
Excellent. Good people.
He lives
All right.
here in Albuquerque.
All right. You'll vouch for him, in other words.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine, personal friend.
All right. Well, he's now a moderator on here too.
Oh, excellent.
Awesome.
I'm not a landscaper, and I mean, I used to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
It's hot.
By the
It's hot.
it's Kirkland Air Force Base. Was it?
Oh, over off Eubank. Yep.
Yep.
That's where Breaking Bad, most of Breaking Bad was filmed on
Yeah.
Eubank.
Yeah.
My Uncle Bob lived in Damon, New Mexico. He used to hang out with me. I ended up picking up his accent.
Why
My
not?
my oldest son-in-law, my oldest daughter, he went back into the military. He was a Marine. Hoorah to the devil dog and everybody else that's been in the Marines. I've never been in the military myself, just law enforcement. But they are moving to a certain city in Texas, and I'll be moving to another city where I grew up in, hopefully by October. Dallas-Fort Worth is where I'll be moving to, hopefully by October. So we'll be about 4 or 5 maybe hours away from each other, and I'll be about 9.5 hours away from Albuquerque. As Bugs Bunny said, I took the wrong left turn to Albuquerque. But so I'll be a day's drive, half a day to a day's drive to every place. So
Wow.
that
Well,
would be good.
it's interesting, you guys, with all the law enforcement and whatnot backgrounds are on here. I mean, a lot of you guys that may not know, I was the most hated person in my city for 8 years.
Oh,
Because
JT.
I was a special constable, but I was the detachment commander in charge of 53 parking enforcement officers.
Oh, parking enforcement.
Boy,
JT.
a lot of people hate me.
Oh, JT Colfax, who's in my channel, he's also a veteran as well,
That's awesome.
military veteran.
Yeah.
Well,
I also I got to share with you my hippie brother. I haven't been together with him and my sister in 50 years. 50 years we haven't been together. I pick him up at the airport, drive him out to Thorhild, Alberta. We aren't in that house 30 minutes. I'm sitting down across the table from them, and he brings out this plastic Tupperware container brownies.
hey, Ashley.
So I'm going, oh, you brought some stuff with you. Oh, yeah, you got to try these. So I picked up one, and it was only a little tiny little thing. And of course, me, I'm almost 300 pounds. I'm like, okay, I'll eat that. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes bulged out. And he says, you didn't eat all that, did you? I said, why? He says, oh, man, you're going to find out real quick. Less than 30 minutes later, I was asleep on the lazy boy in the front room, and I didn't wake up till the next day.
Magnum Man, if I had to guess, I would say that it's probably because we are chatting in 4 different live streams. What we're doing right now is we are co-streaming to mine. We're going to Jack Hobson's. We're going to Skipper's, and we are going to Southwest Jeff's channel. So you're not going to be able to read all the chat from each one of the streams. So you'd have to have like 4 different chats open at the moment. Do it yourself, American. Hey, how you doing? I believe that Mrs. Craig.
And if you all could go to each channel, give them a like and a comment, that would be great.
It would if you feel like it. You know.
I did Skipper's and yours. That's all I have to do. I did too. I did too.
Thank you, KK.
I'm only half short, so I mean, I'm short, so I can only reach so high. I'm getting those, thumbs up.
Hey, you know what? Several times when I've met people on here, they've said, I thought you'd be taller.
I understand.
How can they tell?
That's the God's honest truth. It's me to read one. She was about to write me a ticket. They carry cups evidently.
I think Gary's going to have a big surprise at how tall I am when we meet.
Well, you're about 5'8", 5'9", I believe.
You're correct.
If I remember correctly, you've told me that before, I think.
That's average height. That's okay.
Wait, Rebecca, you're 5'9"?
Well, I used to be 5'10", but age kind of makes you shrink.
That's what I was going to say. I was 5'11". I'm barely over 5'10" now. So, yeah.
Rebecca,
Well,
don't tell me that. I was only 5'2" to start with. I don't need to be 5'1" or even 5 flat.
hey, I'll tell you this. I think that short women are sexy. You
I know my husband's been with me for.
Short and petite.
Hey,
I've been married for 43 years.
that's awesome. Me and Tammy celebrated our 35th last December. But I will tell you all this. I have actually been eligible on my YouTube police channel for monetization, but I honestly don't really care that much about it one way or the other. In fact, I thought about canceling monetization on this channel, but Devil Dog reminded me that the money that I'm receiving in this channel is going towards our meetup that we go. I mean,
Yeah.
But you could go to Patreon and make more money.
Yeah, but see, that's just it, KK. I'm not worried about the money. I don't. Well, I don't. That's okay. Everybody, Devil Dog's focus has always been to treat this as a business, and he does it to, so he can make some money. I've never cared about it, although I thought it was kind of a neat thought to be paid to come on here and do what I do. I enjoy sitting down and talking with people and meeting folks and, just having fun. That's my goal in it. And there was a time when I felt bad if I couldn't get on here every day and support everybody as much as I could. And, but the trouble with that, there's so many people that support this channel that, there's no way I could support everybody as much as they support this channel.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not enough hours in the day.
And we got David Cox in the house. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
That's okay. Video will go viral, happened to us. Hey, I get that. But it's not that the money isn't important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I don't want money because, I don't care about money on here. I work for a living, and let's see, your buddy Lacey is mad because she had to go. I'm sorry about that, Ellsworth. That's not my fault, though. I swear. Hey, Jeff, good to see you at DH, trains. But I do this because I have fun in it. And, if it happens to give a few cents here, a few cents there, that's fine. I'm good with that. And I will put it towards, the first year, I guess I put it towards helping people. The second, we're on our second year. And the first part of it, I just gave it back to members. We've kind of changed it up, though, and I've decided to put, the money towards, the meetup so that, kind of give people money back or stuff back, some support from to the folks that come to the meetups.
Yeah, I don't. A lot of people don't know this. They're not monetized unless you have, I don't know, whatever the magic number is. You don't really make money on monetization. I'm lucky if I get $100 or $200 check every month or two, and I use it mostly towards the membership size, the people that I do support on YouTube. The rest goes towards sometimes bills. I will admit that, but other than that, it goes towards my kids and grandkids.
I get zero.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm minus because I play music in that on mine. So I don't care if I make any money or anything on mine. I never did care. I got paid one time. I got paid 100, and that was like 4 years ago. So, I mean, mine is, I just have mine for like right now, bingos and trivia and things like that. You know, I just
Sure.
chat like this.
Right.
Let's see.
We got a lot of police officers on here. We got a lot of military personnel, ex-military personnel. We got a lot of good people coming in here. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's been my experience that I don't even have 300 subs. So no. Hey, the fact is, Alexander, the money you make on here is not life-changing money. Now, some people may it means more to them than me, and
Yeah.
I don't begrudge anybody that either. Just like I don't care if somebody, I don't care the color of his skin or whether somebody's a male or female, or a guy thinking they're a female or female thinking they're a guy. I don't care about that stuff. That doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I don't care about whether somebody's part of the LGBTQ AA plus society.
LMNP. Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't matter to me. I believe that people are as people does. There's people that hate or that love America, and there's people that hate America, and not everybody on here is an American. I got
Right.
friends from all over the world, from Tasmania, Canada. I got a lot of friends in Canada. In fact, people used to ask me if I was Canadian. I had so many people on here from Canada.
Canada, Australia, UK seem to be the biggest countries I have on my audience to the YouTube studios. Sweden comes in there once in a while. We have a couple countries from Asia. I've actually had a few countries from South America a couple times, which I was surprised to see. But you never know.
Can I ask
Hey.
a question?
Skipper and Jack, if y'all would type a 29 or one of the other things that'll drop your link. For that matter, you can drop Tweety or you can drop DD, Army, Navy, USMC, USAF. Well, yeah, I think USAF will drop it as well. And
Beltloop, I'm going to put your link in my channel as well. And if anybody else wants their link in my channel, I will drop it in there too. Just let me know. I don't know. I try to drop other people's links when I do, especially when I do a panel share.
all right, just real quick, Skipper, don't put the exclamation point first. Just put 29.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm not too old to learn.
That's okay. On the same page, don't.
I think so. I got all my family that's coming in here except for two more, and the next other family that's coming in is about 3 hours, and I got one more. My brother, his wife, and his kids, they're coming in at about 6 or 7 in the morning. So everybody's just kind of chilling, watching TV, getting their air mattresses and beds set up and whatnot. And so they're good to go. For somebody asked me earlier, I thought you had family coming tonight. Well, of course I do. But
I got a question. May I ask a question, Jeff? You mentioned that there's all kinds of military and cops and all thing up here, and I was just wondering if that is for me. I just don't know.
For you.
I know that Beltloop is a police officer. Devil Dog dropped down, it looks like.
He did.
Okay, he's a Marine for life. Once a Marine, always a Marine for life. We had that gal that talked about Noelle. She's a Marine. Skipper, you have to forgive me, Skipper. What branch were you in?
I was actually most of my career I was infantry.
Infantry.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of support for KK for the Marines and then law enforcement.
Oh, believe me, my
Right.
family on both sides are very military.
Right.
I couldn't go. You know why?
Why?
My boobs entered before I did, and they said, no, we can't take you.
Oh no.
Goodness gracious. Hey, David Perkins. That's that. Citizens arrest. Citizens arrest. That sounds like Andy Griffith, going.
Yeah.
But well, we're very pro. The people that come here tend to be very pro America, very pro patriotic. There's typically you get a lot of people out there that can only see fault with America, and then a lot of us a lot of us feel like it's the best thing out there. And so now I'm not saying that there aren't other great countries, but I'm very proud to be an American. I'm very proud, of our military. I'm very proud of our, I'm proud to be a police officer. Now I'm not one that I am a police officer and I work at a mental hospital. So
Right.
we don't do a lot of law enforcement, what have you. In fact, I've only made one arrest in my entire career. I have helped other people with making an arrest, and I've written a few tickets, and that's about it.
You're
But-
just too nice.
I got out of those tickets. I'm gonna tell you, I got out of those. I just did. I don't get. I've got one ticket, and that was because of my daughter. I had one black guy. That was because of my daughter. So
Oh,
I just
no.
want, I just
Well,
You don't want to know how many tickets I've written.
Oh boy.
yeah, I agree. Serving your country, that's what's up. In fact, I tried to go.
course.
We're pro-military. My parents met in the Army. Both of them were in the Army. My brother was in the Army. I've had several uncles that were in the Army. I had one that was in Vietnam, passed away. We've had, if you go back, we've had my family's had over a dozen that served in the Civil War, and half a dozen that served, American side in the American Revolution.
Right.
We're pro-military. Yeah, I do digits. I try to de-escalate situations. In fact, I take a great deal of pride in doing that. I would rather see a situation where we can go through and bring things down and cause peace as opposed to conflict.
Right.
And so, anyhow, I'm now. Sometimes some people are just set on fighting, and well, when that happens, we use a technique that goes through it, and we never strike a patient.
Yeah. I used to work for in the mental hospital too, so I know what you're saying.
I've said this I think once, maybe twice on my panels before. There was a time I worked in a prison here in New Mexico in Santa Fe for almost 2 years, and not only was I a certified peace officer in corrections, detentions, whatever you want to call it, officer, I went ahead and signed up for the counseling, the state certified therapist situation. And I got to level 1. I passed it. I started out as level 1. I had one person in the prison I counseled. I got promoted and got to level 2. And at that point, I had 3 to 5. And we had a talent show. And it was the juvenile prison. And here's the thing. At that time, I don't know what it's like now, but we had anywhere from the age of 10 to 24 years of age in the prison. And I saw a lot of talent from a lot of the I say kids, and some were adults, but I'll say kids. And they could play the guitar, they could play piano, they could sing. And so they had a talent show. And at the time, I went ahead and I said, you know what, let's enter this talent show. And they all agreed, of course. And we did Hotel California. We did that Leonard Skinner song, Free Bird. We did, another song and whatnot. And they won the talent show.
I met them. I met Leonard Skinner and them.
Oh, nice. But they won the talent show, and it made me so proud because not only was I counseling these, some of them weren't kids. The oldest one was 24, but I'll just say kids. Not only was I counseling them, and I was a certified therapist counselor in the state of New Mexico, I got to see them win the talent show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got to bring my wife inside the facility, and at the time, and she was kind of scared because the door slammed behind you, and you know, and everything. She was kind of scared. I was like, there's something to be scared about. Don't worry. It's all good. You know, everything's under control. But we got to the talent show, and she had a great time. And we could only bring one guest. And at the time, of course, I brought my wife. And so she was inside a maximum security facility and got to see the talent show. And there was so much talent. And a lot of people, their talent, whether it be through like artists, writing, drawing, poetry, whatever, fill in the blank, or music or drama, you know, like plays or what, you know, just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
It comes out when you're doing nothing but time, and all you have is time, if you will. Sometimes they realize, hey, I have this talent I didn't know I had, or I have this talent, I'm going to expound on this talent. And that's what happens in a secure facility. And it was amazing to see a lot of them do that and succeed. And then we would have actors come in, like oh my goodness, from Dances with Wolves, Wes Studi. He was also Geronimo. He's been a lot of movies. He would come in every week and do an acting class. We had Carol Burnett for a little while come in, and she would do an acting class.
That's cool.
Comedy stuff as well. And so we had these celebrities in Santa Fe that would come in and do certain things, and it was amazing. And it really did help, you know, and it is easier to rehabilitate younger people than it is when I worked with the adults, the older people, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, facilities. But it was a good time in my life, and I kind of wish I could go back to that time, or I wish they still had that program. It was a program. They called it the New Mexico State Youth Development Program is what it was called. They didn't put the word prison in there. Now, of course, it was a prison, but they put the New Mexico State Youth Development Program. And it was so much different back then because it was dedicated more toward correct the actual definition of corrections, you know, helping people, you know, learn about things. And here's one more thing I'll finish with this is we had one person in there for murder. And well, it was involuntary manslaughter, and he was just a young kid, you know, he was like 14, 15 when he came in, and he beat somebody up at school. The person just happened to die. And he was in there, and after he got out, he called back, and there's so much time they have to wait before they can call back and tell us about their success or unsuccessful life after they leave. And when you hear a successful phone call and saying, "Hey, I just want to say thank y'all," and I wish I could say last names, but I won't. But they would say, you know, officer. We wouldn't say officer that much. But they would say, "Hey, listen, you know, I'm doing great. I got a job. I got a girlfriend. I'm staying out of trouble. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for the counseling. Thank you for this." You know, that is a feeling that I will never forget. You know, it's amazing. I got to bring in a friend of mine's mother, who is very famous. Well, she's not as famous as she used to be, but she's still got books out there. If you go to Hobby Lobby, I'll put it in private chat. I'm not going to dox it because people dig into my stuff. But she came in for the wedding that my wife, now ex-wife and I's wedding, but she came in for that, and I got permission from the warden to take her daughter, her son, you know, etc., and a few other people, and take a tour. And the teacher was a big fan of hers, and so I got permission, and I took them in there as well. And she got to do a half-hour class, and you know, it's just amazing what little things that most of us take for granted, like especially on the outside of a jail cell, if you will, and what kind of impact they can have on somebody else. And I will say this: look for the book Ribbon Ladies. And on the front cover is my friend who was a drummer of my first heavy metal band in the late 80s. And he passed away, unfortunately, from a heroin overdose in 1999. And, that was her son. He's on the front, not the front, like the front cover, but as soon as you open the page, he's right there. I'll give that away. Ribbon Ladies is still sold at Hobby Lobby to this day under Grace Publications. And it was just a great time. And I just kind of wish the justice system, not just with the juveniles or young adults, but with the adults in general, would do more in rehabilitation and corrections like it's supposed to be, as opposed to just, walking around, it's chow time, lock up, do a count, chow time, lock up, do a count. You know what I mean? I think that counseling and rehabilitation and corrections in general should be revamped, if that makes any sense at all.
Well,
I don't.
I think what it boils down to, Jeff,
Hey, Daisy.
it's what is your purpose what is the purpose of incarceration? Because there are many things that incarceration can be used for, whether it's retribution, whether it's
Hey, Bobby. I'm
public,
sorry.
no, you're good.
Gary, before you get into that, because I know you can explain it better than I can, but I'm seeing stuff in chat where one of the people, I just lost her name here. She's moved on. She says how she ended up in jail and she hates the guards and stuff. So I'm seeing things where they're all being painted with the same brush. A lot of people from the Canadian point of view, there's a difference between remand which is jail, and prison. There's a huge difference.
Right.
Now, can you explain that to the young lady? Because I know that you can get some real help in prison. Like,
jail is for anything less than a year. Prison is for anything over a year.
Right. Well, yes, you're right. You're right, Officer Beltloop. However, it also depends on what the crime is, the state, and the statutes are. You're absolutely right. We had a person in the county jail, which is my first job, that was in there for 2 years, and we had one for 15 months. So you're absolutely right, but they look at it, and certain judges or the prosecution attorney, whatever, they'll say, okay, let's do this. So some of that time, let's say they're waiting for trial, and I want to get to a couple other things. If you give me just like 3 minutes, I'll be done. But there's some people that were in actual county jail because they were waiting trial. They went through trial in the county jail for say 6 months to a year, and then they got their sentence. They got time served, and then the rest of their sentence, they said, okay, instead of taking them to prison, we'll just keep them right there in the local detention center. And second of all, I want to say this real quick, if I could. Daisy, you do have a wrench. I know Daisy. I met her recently through B-Sox. It's a different channel. Bobby, also the Nevermore. He's an ordained minister. So he's on my channel right now. He's a moderator. He's a good dude. Nevermore, if you want the link, if that's okay with Officer Beltloop, I can give you that link. He is a good person to talk to. He's from the South. He's not too far from you, actually, Officer Beltloop. If I may drop that link, I can do that with your permission. And he's got a lot of good insight as well. And he's just good people. And but Daisy, I understand that's what I was trying to say is it seems like the juvenile prison system is different than the adult prison system, and I wish it was different because I understand, the old expression, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Well, there's some that actually want to learn, and I believe that, and I know for a fact actually that there are some adults when I worked in adult facilities that did change their lives around. They sincerely did.
Yeah.
It's a little bit fewer and far between. But with the juveniles or young adults, you see more of an opportunity of change. We would have different churches come in, whatever denomination. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just simply making a point here. Is they would change through the churches or their denomination or religion, whatever it may be, fill in the blank. And you would see a change through that as well. And there's just not enough of that in the adult system, unfortunately. So, Daisy, I feel for you. I get it. I understand, you know. But I'm going to drop the link if I could, just for Nevermore.
Sure, you
Or
can.
Daisy, if you want to come up, you can, of course.
Let me just say this.
Hi, Huga.
Punishment. By the way, what's up? Good to see you, Huga. Punishment wise, as far as sentence wise, yes, jail is for pre-trial, as well as less than a year sentencing. Anything over a year is considered prison.
Right.
And so I could see where somebody could end up being there longer if the courts were stacked with trials, or if it took a long time for the trial and they could not make bail. But typically I tend to think of jail as less than a year and prison as more than a year.
Right. And that's for the most part right. Yep. You're right.
A quick question though: in the States, do they those that are left in jail waiting to go to have their sentencing and whatnot, do they give them like time and a half for the time they spent in remand?
Okay.
Jail, because that's what they do here.
I might be able to answer this, and no offense, Officer Beltloop. As a CO, I probably could answer this better than maybe he could. And I'm not being rude about that. It's just because I was a corrections officer. So, in a state conviction, you're eligible in most cases, not all. And Florida is one of them that you cannot get this. But most states, say if you get 10 years, okay, you get 10 years, you're going to go to prison, right? In most states, you're eligible for parole after 50% of the time. So that'd be 5 years. As a federal crime, you have to serve at the very least, 85% of the time. And Beltloop, I'm not going to dox anything, but you know what I'm talking about because you have somebody that's in a federal situation in that authority. And if I'm not mistaken. So at a state level, in most cases, you get half the time. You have to do at least half the time. At a federal level, you have to do 85%.
See, that sounds right to me. Hey, I just work at a mental institution. Most of what I do is patient care. So I know a little bit, and to be fair, what I was looking at. Hey, Barry Bear Shorts, good to see you. I was looking at going to law school, but got tired of being in school. So, I just ended up doing my thing. And I said, hey, give me my degree. I'm gone. And so that's what I did. Anyhow, and I'll change my name on here to where it's just Beltloop 29. The fact, again, I do this for fun, come up and talk with friends and what have you. It's just fun.
Right.
So it's a way for me to meet folks. And hey, KC Cox.
Hey, is that the real KC Cox? KC Cox. Okay, so that's the real one. All right. So he was he was the biggest part of my bread catching adventure, if you will. I don't know why he's unmodded. Let me give him back to a mod. Somebody told me, and if I may address this, Gary, I do apologize, but I want to address this.
Go ahead.
A lot of people came in here earlier, Casey, and said that you completely turned against me. And I said, look, people have friends. It's like brothers. They fight. My brother and I fight, not like physically anymore, but we argue. We disagree. We agree to disagree. In case you get your inch back. But Casey and I do the same thing. We have our situations. It's called life, and we have our disagreements. We have our agreements. We have our whatevers, and so. But somebody came in here and told me that you totally turned against me, Casey. Can you clear that up? I gave you your wrench back because I actually, believe it or not, believed it for a second. We have our disagreements. I get that. But Casey Cox is also a member of your channel, I believe, too, Officer Beltloop.
Cool.
He is actually. Let me say something if I could. He'll elaborate. And Casey, the link is there. Let me drop that one more time, Casey, if you want to come up and talk about that, because it's kind of interesting, his political stance. Because I kind of get it. You have the left, and I don't want to get too involved. I just want to give you just a hint here. I don't want to get too involved in political stuff. But you have the left, you have the right paradigm, and then you have the middle. I've always been more of the middle. And Casey has some really good connections, actually. He's met a lot of the politicians, and he has a lot of good insight when it comes to, hey, open your mind, look to this, look to that, look to the left, look to the right, look to the middle, look to this. Casey, the link is for you as well. So Casey and I actually agree more than we disagree when it comes to political stuff. When it comes to Christianity, we have the same beliefs for the most part. But yeah, I don't want to get into it. It's on your channel. I know I'm doing a panel share, but right, Casey, exactly. And I wanted to ask you first, but there's the link. If you want to come up and Beltloop, if you want to give the rules, it's your channel. I'm just doing a panel share, but if there's any rules you want to give about politics, religion, or whatever, give that now in case he wants to come up.
Well, I don't know what a forwardist is, but that's okay. I mean, the fact is, I never am so vain to think that I know it all. Because right and moderate don't buy into the false left-right paradigm. I can't disagree with you, Scott. If we want to, I don't really talk politics and I don't really talk religion. I have that's not to say I'm not a religious person. That's not to say, but I consider my religious walk a very personal thing.
Right.
And I don't try to push my beliefs onto anybody else. And, I think that's something that people have to make up their mind for themselves about.
Right.
As far as politics, I really don't discuss them. I've got friends on both sides of the aisle. I myself consider myself more of I'm having a brain fart, but I consider myself more of an individualist or
independent. Yeah.
I see some good on both ways, both perspectives, although more so to one way than the other. By the way, that sounds pretty cool there, Scott.
Actually, can I just, Casey and you are a lot alike, Beltloop. Casey, maybe you might want to come up if that's okay with Beltloop. And,
I think Tiny Outdoors.
I think that Casey and you would get along really good, Officer Beltloop, because you guys are both really in the same position. And I think you and Casey I think you might have been on panel. I actually have, I believe. But Casey, if you want to come up, there's the link. I think it'd be profitable if you do come up and, just maturely, calmly, just talk about whatever, because Casey has a lot of good points. Beltloop has a lot of good points. A lot of people up here do. And a lot of people, like, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's some certain. But
he said he didn't want to, and that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
May I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. As a family member of a convict, my son's been in prison now for 9 years of a 10-year sentence.
Yeah.
In Canada, remand is not a nice place. That's where they're still wearing the orange jumpsuits. You know, orange is the new black, so to speak. And they don't treat you very well in there. And they do give you time and a half for time served in the remand before you go to the prison. That's the way they work it here. When you get to the prison system, eventually you can start the training. My son's done that with my prompting. He's finished his high school. He's going to he's taking college courses through Prairie College, both theology and psychology. So I'm curious to see how those two are going to mix. He's out next year in August, but he's been studying his Bible in there and keeping his nose clean, not getting into any problems at all. I talk to him on a daily basis. He's in touch with my pastor in the church group here. I'm going to help him when he moves to BC so he can settle down in a new area. And that way you don't have that revolving door. You don't want the revolving door in the prisons because you see it all too often where,
Right.
They end up coming back. Time.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of what he's done. He's serving his time, and I think he's learned very quickly. So I look at him like a prodigal son. He was lost, and now I find I'm happy that he's actually making something of his life. And I wish him all the luck in the world once he moves to his new location, and he's got something to work with. Not just walking out of a prison system and being stuck on the street. So
that's all. Skipper, I don't know if you know this, but my father has a degree and has his doctorate in religious education as well as his PhD in psychology.
Yeah, isn't that strange? It's almost like an oxymoron. I mean, really?
Yeah, they
work okay together.
And my father has always been the wisest individual I know.
Amen to that.
He has, he's 82 right now, and he's missed a step or two. But he is, and his memory has slipped. But I've always had a great deal of respect for my father. Now I relate better to my mother, but he is, I guess my brothers always relate better to him than me, him than I do. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, it's an interesting combination, I guess. But hey, I hope he does well, brother.
I hope so too.
So education can help. I'm not one. In fact, I got my degree, and I spent a lot of money on it, and I spent a lot of time getting it. And I'm one of the few people one of probably few people today that will tell you, that out here, while it did eventually help me, the vast majority of my life from 1993 to 2014, I never really used it. Now that's my own fault, and part of that's because of the fact that my wife did not want me to apply for a job where there's possibility of people be shooting back at me. Mm-hmm. And let's see, did sleep in the Holiday Inn last night, so I got going for. There we go. I say that all the time. But I do think that it can help a lot of people in training them how to think and a lot of positive things along that line. For me, though, I don't know. I guess it opened the door for me for the situation I'm in now, and which is probably the best situation I've ever been in my life. As far as for because I'm old. I'm not over the hill, mind you, but I'm old enough to where I'm starting to look at retirement and for where I'm at, it's a godsend. So
Yeah.
it's been a positive thing, even though I wish I'd have started it, out there where I'm at, in 93.
Mm-hmm.
If so, I'd been retired, by now already with a whole lot more money, I think. But who knows?
Hello, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, good to see you. Passion stacking.
Hi, Jessica. How you doing?
Hi, Jessica.
How you been doing, Miss Rebecca? I'm sorry we hadn't had much of an opening for talking, I reckon.
I'm working on making a camouflage hat for someone.
Okay, well, let's see it. That's pretty.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Hey, I was just curious, Jessica. Do you I don't know what they're called. They keep your drink either warm or cold. What are they called? Little. Oh my goodness.
Something that's insulated.
That's
Koozies.
What's that? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
He said koozies.
Cozies. There you go. Do you make cozies?
All of a sudden, I heard Del Dog's voice.
Just loves jumping in there, making us jump.
Hey, Big Tiny. Yeah, I was curious if you make cozies.
Well, I think it won't be too long. We'll I'll be retiring. I'm looking forward to it. Have some of the Brothers IAU veterans on this broadcast. Thank you for your service, Scott. And
It's okay. Go ahead.
You do understand when you retire, buddy, you're going to be busier than you ever were when you were working.
Right.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I'm putting in 64 hours a week right now, Skipper.
Oh, wait till they find out in the volunteer sector that you're available. Oh, yeah.
What volunteer section? I ain't volunteered.
Oh, they'll find you. They did me.
The fine print.
We'll do, Casey. We'll do. I have it screenshotted.
I just seen that P Digit says he's got my hat on the top shelf. Why do you have it on the top shelf?
He's waiting for the weather to turn cold. It ain't cold right now, Rebecca.
No, it's not.
She may be the best hat ever.
He's just waiting for the weather to turn cold. The fact is, I need to go by the post office and see if my scrubbies are there. I hadn't been by there in a couple of weeks, but like I said, I'm working 64 hours a week, and it's not giving me time. I took a week off, but I've been spending a lot of that time either cleaning here in the house or out in the yard trying to get it ready to. Well, I've got to get somebody to come out here and look at my septic system.
I have to ask you, Gary, how do you get away with working those many hours? I mean, isn't someone coming up going, wait a minute?
Well, it's actually I used to work 80 when I first started out there. First couple of years, I worked 80 hours a week.
That's nuts.
It is, but because my pay rate was so low, it's not like I made a whole lot of money. But I did make time and a half for anything over 40.
Right.
But they gave us a huge pay raise back in 2022, and so now they're starting to make us think about it. In fact, they've even gone through and said that put it in policy that nobody can work more than 24 hours overtime a week.
Oh, so that's why you're getting the 64.
Well, I'm limited to 64. Now, granted, I was only doing 40 before I went back to doing 64 because I got burnt out on doing overtime.
Right.
But but I'm getting so close to retirement, and because of that pay raise, if you think about it, devil dog, close your ears for just a second. This is real simple math. Real simple math. 5 days a week, 8 hours a shift is 40 hours, right? So that means each shift is worth 20%. Since you make time and a half, every shift you work over that is worth 30%. So 100% for 5 shifts, 30, 60, 90% for 3 shifts. 24 hours is 3 extra shifts, 8, 16, 24. So by working 3 extra shifts during the week, I basically almost double my pay. And it increases with the time added as well, it basically will more than triple my retirement.
Right.
So it would be stupid. It would not make much sense for me not to do it. Top shelf is a compliment. If it's at the top, its chances of being disturbed lessens. Scott says, Numas, were you Navy?
I was just answering them.
Okay. Very true. I haven't stopped working even after retirement, selling deer since. I've noticed that Rick. By the way, if y'all don't know Rick over at Big Tiny's, y'all need to, and especially if you hunt, you need to go check out his stuff. He got good stuff.
Yeah. I served 22 years, 12 and a half infantry. I did a stint as communications research, listening in on the Russians. I didn't like that job, comm research. Then I switched over to teleop, which is a signal corps trade. And then I went to the supply trade, basically a rag picker. And I did 9 years as a supply. I finished up after 22 years at the ripe old age of 37. I wish I was 37 again.
You was military early, didn't you?
I was 15 when I got one of my mother's friends from Detroit onto the Detroit mob. I think his name was Francesco Finelli. He made me false ID. And back in those days, of course, not everything was computerized. So I had great false ID. I went in, I enlisted at 15. That was after I tried to go to Vietnam. They kicked me back because they knew I was too young. So I went Canadian Army. And so I spent I got caught at 17. I did 20 days in the military slammer. Not nice. You don't want to go back to that. Because my mother reported me. She was looking for me for 2 years. So I remember marching into my CO, and he goes, Conlon, how old are you? Okay, I'm 19. He says, bullshit. Excuse my French. He says, you are 17. You were 15 when you enlisted. You lied. I said, okay, sir. Yes, I did. I explained why I did. And he took me at my word that I was being honest, that why I was trying to save myself from. My mother was a player and used to run poker games for the mob. So you well imagine the environment I got out of.
Yeah.
So I did my time, and then I got called in, and he says, okay, you got a choice. You're now 17. Would you like to stay in, or do you want to release? I said, I'm staying in. So I stayed in. Well, it caused a real issue when I turned 37, because after Veteran Affairs got a hold of me, they couldn't input the information because it kept rejecting because I couldn't have enlisted when I did.
Right.
Hey, by the way, I do want to say thank you to Rick over at Big Tiny's. I do want to say thank you to P Digits and Peaceful Deaths. All three are members of my channel, and I consider them family. I do want to say thank you to everybody that's come in here to the chat, as well as I want to say thank you to Jack Hobson. I do want to say thank you to Skipper Numerous Maniac, as well as Southwest Jeff for streaming this out as well. I do appreciate y'all's time. I was going to stop it at 2:29, just because of the 229, but we've been live a little over 2.5 hours. And I want to say thank y'all for coming in. We are going to end, and y'all have a good evening, all right?
Oh no! What am I gonna do now?
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for letting me restream this. I'll probably put this on members, to be honest with you. Just have something to put on members. I don't have a whole lot of content on there, if that's okay, Beltloop. But I will do that, and then I'll make it public at some point. But thank you, everybody, and I appreciate it.
And thank you.
Y'all have a good evening. Thank you for coming in. Miss Rebecca, Jack Hobson, Skipper, Jeff, and Devil Dog. Stick around for the after program. If somebody wants to join the after party, need to just stick around or hit the link.
Fun.
I'm curious about this. Oh, that was 1967.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and may I say, Casey, if you want to come up on the offline after hours, you can do that. I like to hear from him. He's still here. But I'll stay here for the after hours for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Scott, I got to let Scott know too. Scott, there's great information. I too have got, and this is where Canadians and Americans cross over. 2 of my cousins were serving on board the USS Arizona when it was sunk, and they're at that site right now. So yeah, we have close ties.
Cool.
With that, we're going to end in 3. The link is at the top. It should be pinned to the top digits. Feel free to come up, brother. We are going to end in 3, 2,
Also,